Do you know what the leading cause of death and disability is in America? I'll tell you. It's chronic diseases like diabetes, obesity, and heart disease. Every year, more than 1.7 million Americans die because of these diseases. That's almost 4 people every minute. But what if I told you I found a miracle cure that could prevent these deaths? Well, that miracle cure is to simply live healthy, to eat well, sleep well, and to exercise. Okay, so why are there still millions of people dying? It's because many of us fail to live healthy on a regular basis. We fail to do these basics because we don't have any idea what we should be doing personally for our health. What might be good for one person isn't necessarily good for the other. For example, eating that cookie might actually be good for you because it boosts your blood sugar levels. But what if we could give each and every person a personal health plan so they know exactly what they need to do in order to prevent or recover from these chronic conditions? Well, we can't do that right now because these chronic conditions are very complex, influenced by genetic, epigenetic, and lifestyle factors which are far from being fully understood. Genetic factors include hereditary proneness to disease that are embedded in the DNA. Epigenetic factors are a combination of genetic factors and lifestyle factors, where the exposures you receive, such as alcohol or smoke, affect which genes are expressed. And lifestyle factors are how you live your daily life. In genomics and epigenomics, there have been associative links found between certain genetic and epigenetic patterns of disease, but a complete picture of the causal role genes and epigenetic patterns play has not yet been discovered. Lifestyle factors such as alcohol use, smoking, and exercise seem to play the biggest role in preventing chronic diseases. That's because these links have been proven to be causal. These causal relationships have been proven by large amounts of data. Just think about the smoking studies done in the 1970s. Now, what if we had these individual causal factors? What could we do with them? We could combine these factors through complex causal modeling to find out how they affect disease risk. This is key to recommendation generation. By understanding how a patient's risk for a chronic disease changes over time, we can calculate what factors must change and by how much in order to decrease that risk. We can then turn those factors into a meaningful health plan for the patient. In order to make these health plans personal, you need to access personal data about a patient's genome, epigenome, and lifestyle. Genome sequencing and epigenome mapping are both technologies that are relatively mature. But in order to gain information about someone's personal lifestyle, such as their exercise, blood sugar levels, and sleeping habits, you need a personal, multi-purpose biosensor to be able to track these factors. Such a multi-purpose, minimally invasive biosensor is still many, many years away, as current approaches need blood samples in order to measure biomarkers, or they use light diffraction techniques which aren't that accurate. So let's give an example. Type 2 diabetes is a clear example of a preventable chronic disease we want to eradicate. However, we haven't. Why? Because a complete causal picture of the relationship between genomic, epigenomic, and lifestyle data that relate to type 2 diabetes has not been discovered. On the genetic side, there are 120 gene variants, none of them which we know the function of. On the epigenomic side, the epigenome is present in the genome as DNA methylation or histone modifications, and while certain patterns of DNA methylation have been associated with type 2 diabetes, no causal link has been found. On the lifestyle side, current glucose monitoring techniques require blood, and non-invasive monitors are still being researched. In addition, HbA1c and C-peptide tests require blood and urine and can take up to a day to get results back. But we can address this huge gap in causal understanding of type 2 diabetes and many other preventable diseases with Topi. Our vision is to create a world where 100% of preventable chronic diseases are prevented. Topi is a physical AI device paired with a multi-purpose wearable biosensor that is able to gain a complete causal understanding of your personal life, which it uses to generate a personal health plan to reduce risk or recover from a chronic disease. It communicates that health plan in a personable and effective manner such that you can trust Topi. Current solutions to preventable chronic diseases such as health coaching or healthcare apps work through a belief in personal relationships. Current AI and NLP methods are still far from complete mastery of language communication. While this relationship is important, they fail to realize what's most important is the personal health of those patients, which current technology cannot understand. However, Topi is not able to account for just the personal health, but also the relationship aspect through its complex AI that is able to communicate and build meaningful relationships. These relationships are key to allow patients to trust Topi and therefore follow the health plan. After Topi's launch, we plan to integrate Topi into the lives of employees at the organizations level, such as self-insured companies like Microsoft, who spends almost $1 million on employee healthcare. These organizations have the economic incentive to keep their patients healthy and have the money to pay for them. But eventually, we plan to integrate into the personal lives of all people who are health conscious and want to prevent these chronic diseases. We at Topi believe in 3 core values to implement our vision: doing more with less, thinking 10x, and communication. We have built our company around these values, and all this wouldn't be possible without it. We at Topi believe in all these values in order to make our vision of a world where 100% of preventable chronic diseases are prevented comes true. Thank you, and we hope you help us on our journey.